This is Austin St. John, Jason, the original Red Ranger. You are watching the Morphin Network.
This Morphin Network video is sponsored by Ranger Stop Convention and Ranger Stop and Pop. Have you ever wanted to see all your favorite Power Rangers together in one epic convention? Go to Ranger Stop! Ranger Stop and Pop. March 5th to the 7th, 2021. Atlanta, Georgia. Ranger Stop 8. November 11th to the 14th, 2021. Orlando, Florida. Get your tickets now.
Oh, the weather outside is frightful, but the fire is so delightful.
Okay, let's go. Let's talk now.
If you have nowhere to go, fighting box.
Anyway, so
Let it snow. Come on, Ryan. Listen. With all the stuff that's going on in the world, I think it is okay to say that Christmas time is upon us. Okay.
yes, but I already have my playlist, and you're ruining it.
Why? Do you want to know why? Do you want to know why?
I know I can't eat chestnuts, but I always wanted to roast them on an open fire.
Do you want to know why? Because this is the way. Hey, I had to sneak that in. I had to sneak it in after the amazement that we saw yesterday on The Mandalorian. I'm sorry.
I would take Baby Grogu out right now, but my mom made him to a knick-knack. A Christmas knick-knack. She actually likes him so much after that episode. She's like, I'm gonna play my knick-knack. It's like, no, oh my god.
Anyways, guys, welcome to the final episode of the year for Morphin Network. I am Leo, aka Psycho Fox, Mike, Time Rider Z, Kent, Quasar Red, and Ryan, aka Urkel Jr. I'm joking. Dagger Boy, the boss. Before we get started, I want to wish everyone out there, because this is probably is this our last episode of the year, Ryan?
Maybe.
Okay.
Well, let's see. If there any big news comes up before this in January 1st? Yeah. No.
Yeah, but until then, we want to wish everyone out there a Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Happy Kwanzaa, Happy Holidays all around. Hopefully, everyone will be celebrating with their families safely, of course, and everything like that. And without further ado, we want to also say Happy Holidays to you guys. Thank you guys for an amazing year for us, even with all the crap going on in the world. Thank you guys for always tuning in with us for Ranger Podcast Live, the Rider Time Podcast, Ranger Time Super Sentai Hero Special, and everything like that. Thank you guys so much. We greatly appreciate it.
Ooh. Now, let's start this. Okay, so you guys know this is ups and downs, basically a series review of Power Rangers Beast Morphers. We are doing Season 1 and Season 2, so basically think of the whole series, not just Season 1, Season 2. Mm-hmm. I'll be hosting this. These three will give their thoughts on what they thought of the season. Series in general. So the first topic of the day, for you two guys, story. What you guys thought of the story of Beast Morphers? Starting with Kent here. Actually, starting with Bulk. Yeah, Kent. So I did like that.
So while I think Beast Morphers' first season is an overall good start to the Hasbro era and was an overall step in the right direction, I felt their executions needed some ironing out. Particularly, like with certain roles and the way they did certain things in the first season, like, Vargoyle's arc, and like how they did, like the way they did tension, the way they made the villains come off, and like I just think it could have been done better. But with season 2, however, I think it's a very nice improvement. I think that, like how Linkara talked about how Jungle Fury was a dry run from, or Overdrive was a dry run from Jungle Fury, I think season 1 was a dry run for season 2. And also, a lot of people I've heard say this season comes off like season 1 of Mighty Morphin, but I really don't see it. I see Ninja Steel coming off like season 1. It felt like it was very much channeling. It definitely felt like a modern day Mighty Morphin. The first season of Beast Morphers, I think, came off more like season 2 because because like I said, I think season 2 of Mighty Morphin does feel like a grown-up series, but it also kind of has some things that end up falling kind of flat in certain areas. But with this season, the second season of Beast Morphers, I get a Zeo vibe from it. There's just something about the way they introduce stuff, the plot developments, and their overall payoff feels very reminiscent of how things were done in the 4th season of the show. Although in this case, Beast Morphers easily has the better season finale. So,
All right,
someone else go.
Leo.
So I've said this many times. I said this during Morphicon. I said this when they first debuted Power Rangers Beast Morphers. What difference am I going to see from Hasbro's rendition of Power Rangers than the other renditions that we've gotten from Nickelodeon with Samurai, with Megaforce, Dino Charge, and Ninja Steel? Keep in mind, I got back into Power Rangers because of Ninja Steel. It's the reason why, despite my many issues with Ninja Steel is the reason why I got back into Power Rangers. Okay. So I do thank that season for that. But seeing how everyone's fair share criticism of it's they repeat the exact same formula. How is Beast Morphers going to be any different? While I agree with Kent that season 1 is a very solid season, one of the big things that I was having issues with is how the pacing and as well as character development. I mean, we already had character development. We already knew about Devin. We already knew about Zoe, and we already knew about Ravi. But how are they going to expand upon the developments of each and every character? Ravi for a cool minute. Ravi was kind of like a one-note character until you realize some of his other things that he likes to do. He likes painting. He likes jazz music. He likes detective stuff. I mean, that's the reason why he's a big fan of Sherlock Holmes. And they actually mentioned that again in season 2 in the part 2 of the Grid Connection crossover. With Zoe's thing is mixed, but we'll get into the characters in a minute. But when it comes to story, I think season 1 started off pretty well. It did make a couple of botches. And I do think that because it was part 1 and you still had the remnants of like certain like slapstick comedy or slapstick gags that are in a lot of the seasons that Nickelodeon has made. But towards the end of season 1, you kind of see them iron out. Season 2, again, we've mentioned this before. The first half of season 2 was, can they stick the landing? The landing was rough, but they did stick it. We won't discuss that stupid episode that we never want to talk about. But at 3 episodes later, that's when the season started to pick up, and then we saw how deep this rabbit hole was going to go on what was going to be the difference between seasons 2, because season 2 of Beast Morphers compared to every single second season of Power Rangers. Because again, for what Ryan and Kent and Mike have told me, season 2 Nickelodeon Power Rangers is cursed. Beast Morphers broke that curse of season 2. It took a minute, but it broke that curse. And not only did we lead into what I consider to be kind of like a mini movie with the whole we're bringing in Chaku, and Chaku's appearance sets up the rest of the entire story. This could honestly be a movie. There are certain things that I wish they could have done better, but we'll get into that in a minute. But the second half of season 2 is honestly some of the best writing and some of the best storytelling that I have seen in quite a while. Again, could be ironed out, yes, but as the Kickstarter to Hasbro's era of Power Rangers, it was a solid start. And there you go.
Okay. Your next boy, Mike.
Go ahead.
Okay, so there's a lot to break down. I'll try my best to keep it short. The first thing I'll say is what's funny about watching Go Busters for the first time, like the actual Japanese Tokume Sentai Go Busters, is that it felt a lot like RPM because there is a computer virus trying to take over a city and its resources, and then you got government funded rangers who are, who are trying to like counteract these cyber attacks. And how funny would it be? How funny is it that now that we finally have a season based on Go Busters, it actually is a sequel to RPM. So much so that it is to RPM what Kamen Rider Geo is to Decade, where it's like there was some unanswered questions at the end of the former season, and then a decade later, there's this new season where they plan on resolving those questions. And yes, we did have to sit through like a good 35 episodes to get there, but we got there. Kent made a really interesting point. I would say yes, the first half it reminds me of Power Rangers Zeo, not Kamen Rider Geo, where it's like, yeah, the Rangers are stronger than before, powered up for more because they reverse engineered this technology. They learned from the past. Well, except for one particular Ranger who takes about 35 episodes to learn said lesson. And but the second half, especially like the last 3/4 of the second half, felt more like Power Rangers in space, where like everything is culminating, everything's building up, everything that we needed, everything that was brought up in the past seasons is going to come back to bite everyone in the back if we don't put our act together. And it worked. And yeah, and while there were a lot of hiccups and some episodes did feel a little too Dino Charge / Ninja Steel-ish, it did have little bits and pieces of things that were something new and better. And then, towards the second half of the last quarter, the final quarter, it really became something newer, bigger, badder, dadder. Shouts to this guy. And it just worked at the end. And again, like one of my main nitpicks is the pacing for certain episodes, even though I liked individual scenes. But I'll get more into that when we go into more details.
Are we going to talk right quick? Are we going to talk about the writing of the season, or have we kind of already done that?
That's next.
Okay.
Too soon, Ken.
Just wondering.
Okay, so for me, I'll keep it quick. Story, I'll say this: the story was kind of unique, but it was still a little bit unoriginal because it was depending on past seasons. Mm-hmm. But I get it. Basically, I had the Force Awakens vibe with this series itself because it's legitly taking from. I mean, that's okay. I mean, it's fine. It's fine. It's basically Hasbro saying like, "Hey, you fans, we get it. We know you didn't like the previous seasons, but we will try our best and get stuff that you like in the past." Before, yeah. So and put it here. So to me, the story of Beast Morphers is basically like Force Awakens. Basically, it's telling a story again, a past story, but it's also to rejuvenate the fandom. Like, okay, trust us, we got you. You can trust us. See, we're doing this. We already put in Rita. You mentioned Rita in the beginning of the episode, the mayor. You mentioned Galvanax, or and also there's like tidbits of Easter eggs of past Rangers. So there you go. Overall story, it still felt like Neo Sabanich. Well, the first season felt like Sabanich.
Yeah.
Second half, woo! Yes, I liked it. But anyway, that's kind of the point. Overall story was good. Not great. Could have done better. Actually, depended on a lot of past seasons, but overall, it worked. It worked for start of a new era of Power Rangers. Mm-hmm. Basically, to give homage to the past. Zacher, that's how you do a Power Rangers series. Anyway. Next topic is writing. Mm-hmm. Kent, go. Same thing.
So the way Beast Morphers comes off the whole series, it feels like the writing wise, like it seemed like the writers were in the middle of rough drafting the series, but then they had to go into production a lot quicker and so they ended up going with the script they used rather than getting a chance to look over it. The reason why I say that is because there are good ideas in the season, in the first season and in the second one, but I do feel like they kind of come off a little, like I said, falling kind of flat. Like I said, Vargoyle, like he was built up from the second episode, and he sounded like he was going to be a cool guy, and then poof, he's gone. And then like the episode where Devin's helmet smashes, like that was just an episode that was overall kind of just a filler episode. Like it seemed like let's see. It seemed like I said, it just seemed like they needed some time to iron out stuff. And I definitely feel like with season 2, they definitely like looked over their work a bit more. And while there are some falling flat areas here and there, it's not nearly as noticeable or as annoying as it was in the first season. Really, the writing for the first season kind of comes off, like the stuff that comes falling kind of flat kind of comes off more like Mystic Force and Dino Charge, where they introduce something that could be cool, lead to some potentially cool storylines and interesting ideas, and then it's resolved like before you even like got the fire going. Like it's just like, you know, it's like, this will be cool. We're done. So, that's what the writing for me comes off like.
Okay, Fox.
What you said about how if season 1 felt like Neo Saban, you're right for the most part. Because one of my big things, and you yourself, Ryan, you talked about it as well, is that it's one thing to have gags, but it's another thing to just be slapstick the entire time.
Our article.
And yeah, and while I do appreciate the fact that Beast Morphers did not rely on too much slapstick, there was still enough that made me say, okay, let's move past that and let's get back to the main story at hand. I would also say to Kent, yes, I do feel as if there are great moments. Keep in mind, moments. But those moments could have been expanded upon. Vargirl's a good example. Matter of fact, this is a great time to do this. Hold up.
Here we go.
Jim Cornette alert.
No, it's this guy.
No, can you stop that? Anyways, if I can Jim Cornette really quick, what I assumed was that bringing in Vargoyle the way they did and how he went after Steel specifically was that Vargoyle was going to be that bad guy to go after one person. He had one target and one target only, and that was the Silver Ranger. Just like how the evil White Ranger was in Dino Thunder, trying to take out Trent because the only one can survive and stuff like that, because one can't survive without fighting. Yes, that's a Ryuki reference. That's what I assumed. I think that would have been a better idea. Don't get me wrong, it still led to a really amazing fight between Devin and Vargoyle, which also came from Go Busters. And again, an amazing fight, thick and thin. But that right there is an example of it could have been done better. Okay? Mm-hmm. And one thing is, if you set a character up, like saying, no, this is what the character's going to do, have that character still continue to do what they do. Zoe's a good example. Zoe's whole thing is to make things better, right? That girl legit saved the entire economy of Pearl Harbor with those stupid Morph X bikes. She saved the whole economy. And did keep this Ranger's identity secret. Those were the only two big things she actually did. And then it's like her character kind of like just plateaus. Her character peaks after that. There's nothing else except her becoming Nate's girl, the whole Keeper incident, until she redeems herself with trying to get her brother another fossil. But until then, her character arc just plateaus. And there are things about the writing that could have been better. But I digress. I feel as I'm talking way too much. So someone else go. If you don't stop it.
I guess it's my turn now. Okay,
Yes.
so yeah, what can I say that hasn't been said for the most part? Yeah, like honestly, like one thing I really hate about the show being on Nickelodeon is because Nickelodeon does impose like those restrictions where you have to do 20 episodes a week, a year, and so you have to break off each season to 2 parts. While I'm not particularly a fan of the writing in Samurai and Megaforce, one thing they did do better than Dino Charge and Ninja Steel is how to write a mid-season finale, by which I mean the ending of the first half of the show. Because the thing is like when Jaden fought Decker, or when they fought Vakar, like it felt like it was like a legitimate halfway point for us to anticipate, in a 2-month hiatus for the next half of the show. Like even if the first 18 episode were bad, the last 2 episodes were just good enough for you to want to watch the next 20 episodes.
Right.
I don't and part of what they did wrong with Ninja Steel and Dino Charge was the fact that they basically did the finale like as not the last episode. They would always have a Christmas episode right after the finale, especially with the second half, because it's like no, like if they made the Christmas episode like take place 3 episodes earlier, that would have been a lot better than having it at the final episode, because you want that final episode to be like a point of either continuation or a point of finality, in the like the former being for the first half, the latter being for the second half, because like when they finally beat the main villain, that's where you want the story to stop. Like we don't need to know what happens on Christmas like a week later. And unfortunately for Beast Morphers, that was kind of the case. And what made it not, and the reason why that it especially was detrimental for Beast Morphers. Keep in mind, this is a nitpick because like there's a lot of things to talk, good and bad things to talk about for Beast Morphers. But my issue with the Christmas episode for Beast Morphers is that we have Scrozzle still around, turning the Rangers into Christmas ornaments, which means that if this is canonically after they defeat Vengeance in the first half, why are people like questioning Steel? It's like, what do you mean Scrozzle's alive? Of course he's gone. Like he was destroyed when we defeated Evox. Remember, like that just like made no sense to me. And I do blame this more on Nickelodeon than I do of the actual writers. And yeah, the first half did feel more like a Neo Saban season than a Hasbro season, with the exception of some episodes. But and I think they could have been and also again, I go back to the pacing with the whole Mayor Daniels thing. They did it better than they did with Heckle and Snide, where they just drop it after 2 episodes. But I wish they kept it going for much longer, like they did in Dino Thunder when Anton Mercer was Mesogog. He was legitimately fighting with this other half of himself, and this would not be resolved till like towards the end of the season. What's it called? Yeah, I agree that to some extent Zoe did plateau as a character. Like at some point, like the only thing we had to go off of her is her relationship with Nate. But the thing is, they only brought it up in like 3 episodes total. I mean, like yeah, I understand when you had that like 3rd quarter ending where like they almost kiss, and then Shaw was like, okay, you know what, I'm gonna let you guys date, but we don't see anything happen after that. Like all we have is Nate just like helps her with the fossil that one time, and that's it. And like I would have loved, and in the second half, I want to see more of Human Blaze and Human Roxy being normal citizens, maybe helping out on occasion, like evacuating citizens, fighting the lower ranked monsters. Things that I bring this back to Mighty Morphin, things that Curtis and Richie did in the first half of season 2 of season 2 of Mighty Morphin, and I especially would have liked to see more interaction between Steel and Blaze specifically because of the ending that the 2 of them would have.
Excellent.
I'm gonna save my comment after Ryan. Ryan, go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead. Purple.
You just reminded me, Mike. Thank you. What the hell happened to Blaze and Roxy? Because you only see them one time together, and that was in. And I'm going to say this with all due respect: the worst episode of the entire season or the entire show. That episode was terrible, and that's the only time you see them together. And the first episode. Then after that, you don't see Roxy until later on before the show is over. And the only time you see Blaze and Roxy together again is during the musical, which I'm not going to crap on the musical because, like I said, once again, the musical is really, really good. I'm going to say that right now. However, that's the only time you see them together again. And then Roxy,
even in the finale, you don't see them together.
You have one episode with Roxy and Ravi, which is the most diet. No, this was Coke Zero CW writing. This made Arrow look like an Emmy award-winning show. Whenever Oliver and Felicity got into an argument.
Or when Barry Allen was dating that one girl during that King Shark episode.
Oh, Patty! Hey, yo, don't disrespect Patty. Don't ever disrespect.
I'm not hating on Patty. I'm disrespecting the writing.
Okay, just making sure. Number one. Number two, then you have Blaze. Blaze is gone, and we had Android Blaze the entire time. And they like, oh, Blaze was in Okinawa or freaking Osaka competing in a karate tournament. Okay, we've already established that Blaze is one of the best fighters in Power Rangers Beast Morphers. Why couldn't we have some episodes with him and Devin be like, hey, look, Blaze, maybe I'm not caught to be a Red Ranger, dude. Like, you were back. You should be the Red Ranger. Like, oh, no, dude. You proven that you are a true leader. And yada, yada, yada. Like, here we go. Time out.
You know what's a good episode they could have used for notes for that?
What?
That episode of Ninja Storm when Shane and Hunter were both competing with each other?
No, I got a better one. When Mike and Leo, when Mike came back, this is Jim Cornette alert. Anyways, when Mike came back because he was kayfabe dead for a while, Leo's like, dude, you should be the Red Ranger. Like, no, dude, like the Quasar Sword chose you.
Saber.
Yeah, Quasar Saber chose you. You are the one and only Red Ranger of the squad. That's what I thought they were going to do when they brought Blaze back. In fact, granted, I didn't want Blaze to stay a good guy. I want him to heel turn because, like, oh, you don't have a guy like Devin, and to cause tension because subtlety. You want a guy like Devin to be the Red Ranger? Oh no, bro! I'm about to go back over. I'm going to heel turn and become a bad guy again. That would have been a better story. Mm-hmm. Or better yet, season 1. And Ryan, I know you get tired of me talking about this, but that Cheetah Unleashed episode where Devin was going to heel turn, that was a missed opportunity, bro. You know it. And
that's another thing. That's another thing. This is the first time in who knows how long that we got a proper battleizer in a season of Power Rangers in a long while. And I don't mean like, ancestor armor for the Megazord exclusive mode. No, I'm talking about actual battleizer, and we only have it for 2 episodes, and it's only in the first season. If anything, they should just leave that out and just have that show up in the second season, but make it a lion themed instead of cheetah themed because their new Zord is a cheetah. And maybe Devin would outrage and Blaze would have to save him.
There's a few. Yeah, it's like I said, executions, step back and look at it. One thing I would like to say about that thing, though, I actually do think it's kind of interesting that they have a power-up in Power Rangers that doesn't stay the whole series. You know, I don't think any show's really dealt with something like that before. So I think it is cool that the Fury mode, just shows up for a little bit and like they ran out of power to power it. And so it's never seen again. Although, like I said, it definitely could have used some sprucing up. Also, since we're talking about it already, yeah, Blaze and Roxy were pretty much wasted in Blaze and Roxy were pretty much wasted in this season. I do like what they did with Roxy at certain moments, but I feel like it would have been cool if they could have like gone off and like investigated the cyber dimension. Like maybe they could look for ways to defeat Evox. Kind of like Ryan, going going and searching for in the demon's tomb, or like I said, Blaze turns, decides to be like, hey, I was supposed to be the Red Ranger. I'm going to turn bad, and I'm going to willingly join Evox, and maybe even have Megan come in as the purple one. But
iCarly's back.
But what we got with Roxy, I don't mind too much. I think like I said, if they did just have her go into hiding, that would have worked well for her character. That would have worked well and could have given a strain to her and Robbie's relationship. Also, one other thing I want to last thing, and then I'm sorry, Ryan, then you're up. So something about Evox and the whole plot twist of him masquerading as Mayor Daniels. This is something that comes from Shinta Reviews, and he said something interesting about paranoia and why they resort to monster attacks. They are AIs, and meaning logical AIs are not built to be imaginative or know how to handle straightforward defeat or know how to, or just they're not creative. So the way I see Evox, the potential in-universe reason for what happens with him and Mayor Daniels is that Evox is just masquerading because this is his mission and and he doesn't want to try and raise suspicion. I think like I said before, he could, and like I said, I think he could have done some interesting things, but I could see like this being the reason why he didn't overall try and backstab or do like getting information. Like if the mayor's like sneaking around Grid Battle Force, that looks very suspicious. Anyway, we've talked enough. Ryan, you go.
Okay. First off, I want to see more of this guy instead of a Robo Blaze. I'll say this: the writing for the season, first half, I'll keep it short. The first half was mixed for me. I didn't like it. It was just mixed because it did feel like okay. Because the thing with Power Rangers is this is why I blame Nickelodeon. They overhype stuff. I've been doing it all the time. They overhype the Mega Battle. They overhype the like Power Ranger Samurai. I'm like, okay. For Beast Morphers, they didn't overhype, but at Morphicon, that trailer showed like, okay, yeah, this will be different. It's like, okay, but it feels different. It feels the same thing. What's going on? It's not the tone. They still kept the music from the past. The background music from the past. New Saban season. I'm like, yeah, we're having it again. Until second half happened, which felt very different. I did find out that Simon Bennett did work on these episodes. Simon Bennett, the new producer of Power Rangers, Dino Fury. So basically, this was his first. I could say now is like Hasbro's legit, real second half or real season. These last 12 episodes, I think it was 15 episodes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'll say this: the writing for the first half, like you can say, Blaze and Roxy. Well, I'll say this: Avatar, Blaze, and Roxy, I like them a lot. I actually like them in the story. But the main, like their human forms, no, where were they? I get it. It's expensive to do like like the thing they did in Parent Trap, like the twins,
Yes.
Because I actually was wanting in the ending, like maybe like Blaze versus his alter ego, and then Roxy versus So basically, you can have them transform to like let's say Black Ranger or a Green Ranger, like in the Morphers.
Mm-hmm.
I was hoping for that, but it didn't happen. Of course, budget reasons. It's budget reasons because Nickelodeon is cheap. No offense. No, sorry, Nickelodeon. I mean it.
No, don't apologize. You know it's right. Your hearts they cheap. Go ahead.
Yeah. So anyway, but the thing is about Beast Morphers. Is it in my top 10? No, it's in my top 15. I'll say it's in my top. I'll say it's number 13 in my top 15. I'll also say this. Without going back to Force Awakens, if the story was not like as a season itself, it could have worked. But like, let's just say its biggest strength was the past seasons. It legitimately was a season that was molded after the past seasons. It was done right, but was molded because of course the technology came from past Ranger technology. So let's see what happens. I mean, it's a good season overall, but the writing, I'll say this: it's mixed. The first season of Power Rangers Beast Morphers, it was a mixed bag for me. There was points I didn't like, there's points I hated. Second season, I liked it a lot. But first half of season 2 was, it was kind of like,
Save our shores, Ryan. Save our shores.
My theory was
It was-
right. My theory was right. Remember, I told you like maybe they're saving up the bad episodes first, so the next. That's true.
Yeah.
Like, the first 4 episodes of Beast Morphers was. I'm sorry to say it. I mean, it was trash. I hated it. I didn't like the first 4 episodes. But then
Episode 1 of season 2 was fine because it was Steel being like, "Yo, I don't think Evox is dead. Listen to me." Like Steel legit turned to
Which
Charlie.
again is sabotaged by the Christmas episode. Just saying.
Yeah. Okay. The Christmas episode doesn't count.
Yeah, I mean, I gotta admit, the first season. Okay, the thing is, again, you're starting a season off, but thing is, it was so underwhelming. I'm like, I get it. You want to be slow, but no, dude. Like after the past negativity of the past seasons, you got to start something big. I'll give another example with This Is the Way. First season of season 2, bang. First season of season 1, bang. Because they knew the past
Hit the
Star
ground running.
because they knew the past Star Wars movies were. I'll admit, the past Star Wars movies were not really good. The sequel trilogy was not really that good. Well, yeah, the last 2 movies.
Oh, that's talking about the original trilogy.
And they needed to know, okay, we need to go back good directionally. So that's why, at least with Beast Mode for season 1, the first episode was actually really good. It actually started off. Season 2, I'm like, oh, you gotta start. So I'm actually glad I was right, but you're right. The first 4 or 5 episodes was kind of like, but after that, bam. So overall, writing, I wish they have done these guys better. Actually, this is my take. I wish they just kept Avatar plays after Roxy, because I'll be honest with you, the Robo styles were not intimidating to me.
No, they weren't.
They were not. At least these guys were. They were intimidating because the thing is, the avatars. But Robin, Roxy, Blaze and Roxy could have died because remember they're stealing their energy.
Right.
It was the main source of the avatars. Robo Blaze, Robo Roxy. Oh, you die, you come back alive. That loses again. I've been told in the review of
The
the
stakes are gone.
stakes are gone. I'm like, oh, you're dead. Okay, you're back. That's the point of it.
See, it only mattered during that last time when Roxy destroyed
Yes.
the clone thing.
Yes, this is why. And plus, I know they're trying to do the Sentai footage for Toei, but you could have just kept this guy like on there because he had a lot of episodes.
Like, yeah, again, he was the Red Go Busters rival. Like,
No, right, arch nemesis.
arch nemesis. Yeah, like I understood. Like, and before people were like, "Oh, you just want a copy and paste of Super Sentai." Like, no, there are plenty of things that Power Rangers have done where it stays true to Sentai, but it also does it very, very different. We're not asking for a cut and paste. We're just asking for like, if he's in it, let's use the best of him and not make him a mid card.
Yeah. See, like I was weirded out at first, like when they showed, Blaze having, enters final form, and Roxy was a yellow repaint of Escape. But like in the context of what happened in the first episode, it actually makes sense because they're supposed to be the Red and Yellow Rangers. They're an evil version of Red and Yellow, which is why they repainted the Escape costume to be yellow. And here it actually works. And low key, those little like hairlines do kind of look like bunny ears. So I'm like, it's like and honestly, I kind of like what they did with AI with Avi Roxy in that in the Japanese version, Escape, she just wanted to have a strong rival to fight against. And when she saw Ryuji, the Blue Ranger, go berserk one time because he overheated, she's like, wow, that guy's strong. I want to fight him. But here, there's more emotional content for them to fight because she was his girlfriend. And he broke up with her because those are the rules. And and another thing, I wish that Robbie got a little more pissed at what's his name, at Nate for dating Zoe because him dating Roxy is what led to her being evil. But yeah, you have a great point about that, and as much as I love the original costumes for Enter and Escape, I wish they kept, with the Avi Blaze and Avi Roxy costumes because of the whole, yes, they're an evil Red Ranger and an evil Yellow Ranger. And it would be cool to see like to see what would be like if Ravi did accept Avi Roxy's offer and became an evil Blue Ranger, or at least there was an episode where he had a nightmare where he did become an evil Blue Ranger.
Yes. Also, and plus, in a past interview with a special ranger we did in the season, he Avatar.
You broke up, Ryan. I think Evox just hacked you.
We have it here.
Ryan,
dang it.
Ryan, say it again because there you go.
I guess since we're talking about
okay, so you hear me now?
Yeah,
you did. Say what you were trying to say. And
Right,
Evox just killed him. Okay, yep,
okay,
Evox just killed him. Anyways,
hear me now.
Yes, we can hear you. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So and also before we go to the next topic, because so before we continue, I mean, a special Blue Ranger, he did say the avatars were kind of better.
Actually, should we just start talking about the villains since we've already started talking
now
about
the next topic. The villains. Dang it, Ken! Are you sidekick? You're reading my mind now.
Well, I thought we were gonna go with the heroes first. Since you guys have given your thoughts on the
villains are fine. Let's go heroes. So villains are the last part because it's more heroes. I'll do it first. So you guys can talk more. Okay, villains. Oh my God, Venjix is back. I'll say this: putting Venjix as your main villain was smart. You know why? Again, remember I have the Force Awakens vibe because I'll say this. So like Kylo Ren basically loves Darth Vader to death. Inspiration of Darth Vader. This is basically now like a Darth Vader moment. You said like basically, but think of Darth Vader, he's dead. This one is basically Darth Vader coming back to a new generation. So with Venjix was technically, well, it's funny with the Disney season. There was like all the main villains were great, but he's considered the most badass main villain. Actually, did win.
Right.
So putting that threat to Beast Morphers was very smart. It was very creative because keep in mind, all the Power Rangers in the main Earth had like a lot of threats, right? But they never faced an apocalyptic moment like the Venjix virus. So this is actually what's funny is I did read an interview with from Illuminati, but our panel is Illuminati. So Simon Bennett and Chiplin did say like, hey, the reason why they adapted Go Buster because of course the story, what it would look like in the main, basically to summarize it, what would like Go Busters be like in a Power Ranger universe? And they start with viruses and stuff, and of course, well, why can we not make basically, why make a new virus if we already had a virus that technically did not die in the past season? Why can we just, continue the story? And of course, Jed Lin remember, this is his last season at Power Rangers as a producer. He's still in it, but as a producer. Why not finish that story arc off? And yes, putting Venjix as the main villain was great. And plus, what's cool is it was one of the best kept secrets. Like I didn't even expect it. Like okay, I'll say this. So I talked to Campbell Cooley. He is our good friend. He like after it got revealed, he basically props to Campbell Cooley. He actually directed that episode. The voice directed that episode with the Venjix reveal. So kudos to Campbell. So yeah, that basically was the most kept secret the whole year. That was the most kept secret the whole year. I think it was doing it. I forgot when he told me, but yeah, that was the most kept secret of the whole year. So Power Ranger fans, yeah, Venjix. After that, Blaze and Roxy. I'm not going deep into that. I'll just say this again. Avatar Blaze, Avatar Roxy. I like them better. We talked already for like 20 minutes about them.
Yeah.
Scrozzle. Campbell, if you're watching this, Campbell, man, good job, man. You did it again. Put it back, can't show Campbell his true. I get it. As much as I love Cosmo Royale, but this character was special. I like this character a lot in Beast Morphers. Because the thing is, he was competent. He did not take, excuse my language, dog poop from Evox. But he did.
Oh, come on.
He did take
a
bit.
Kind of intimidated by Evox.
He was intimidated, but he did make the weapon. Basically, without this guy, no Venjix.
And Venjix is attacking him again.
Dang it! Hear me now?
What did you say?
Anyway, also say this: without Scrozzle, Venjix has no weapons, has no army, has no So I'll even say Scross was one of the main characters, was one of the main villains of this. Yeah,
Mhm.
and also Vargoyle. I'll admit what you can't. Vargoyle was kind of a,
Yeah,
you know,
underwhelming.
wasn't he a main character in Go Busters?
No, he was just a monster of the week.
Oh, I mean, okay. I'll give you that. But overall, the villains for the season, I'll say the monsters was creative. I liked how they used basically it's like Transformers when they use their Cybertron thing from
Yeah.
Spark. I actually like that. They're like, oh, it can make. No, the thing is that actually makes more Venjix more threatening because in RPM he just makes those robots, but now he's able to use a morphing grid to make actual monsters. That's actually threatening. See, so
Mhm.
that's why I tell people Venjix is my #1 villain of all time and is the most scariest. Anyway, that's my.
Oh, wait.
Huh?
Ryan, you forgot something else. The underdogs that don't get appreciated.
Okay, I'll say this. Put them on. Keep them on.
Okay.
I'll say this. In Go Busters, they were threatening. But honestly, they were again Monster of the Week, but the only thing is they were not memorable. The Tronics were not really memorable. I actually thought of them as a nuisance and actually like, oh my god, it's not like SPD, like, the Kudabots were like, oh shoot, the Kudabots
Crybots.
were there. Oh,
Oh,
wait,
yeah.
Crybots. Wait, was it Crybots?
There's Crybots and there's a Crybots, a blue head, and an orange head.
Yeah, see, those were actually monsters I remember. Even the Dino Thunder ones, the minions.
Tyrannodrones.
China, those were strange. I was thinking because I'm thinking about a foot soldier. I'm like, those are scary. They had to be intimidating, right, to people. But they're like, I get it's Sentai footage, but in the Go Busters, they were more threatening. They actually did kill people and actually did destroy stuff. This one's more like a nuisance. So overall, that's it. That's my villains. Next.
I'll do. Oh, go ahead, Ken.
Okay, so since you guys got to give your piece on these two, I'm going to say it. I think the avatars were definitely more cunning, but I think the robots were better fighters. Just like I said, in the first season, you could literally flick these guys on the nose and they would just retreat. Or like for example, Roxy was like going, "I'll handle them," and like they just barely cause one explosion, and then she's just like, "I'm out of here." One guy actually, he said, I kind of see his point on here, but I don't really agree with him too much. He says that the avatars were kind of more like Divatox in the first half of Turbo, where they came off more like a nuisance than an actual threat. I think the avatars definitely felt massively more threatening than Divatox, but I'm not really sure where I could rank them. But with the robot versions of Blaze and Roxy, I definitely think they just feel more threatening, kind of like the Machine Empire. And here's where my AI theory comes back into play. So the avatars were more about manipulation and cunning, but with the robots, they were more bigger and brooder, just give me an upgrade and that's stronger and that'll take care of the job. So that's where I think my AI theory comes into play, because with the avatars, they had connections to Human, Blaze, and Roxy, meaning they could think outside the box. With the robots, they were just more like the Machine Empire, just more brute attacks, more brute force. And like I said, I think like I said, I love Roxy's final form. But overall, like I said, yeah, it does take away some of the threat level when it comes to, they're not sucking the lives out of Blaze and Roxy this season. But like I said, I do think they're at least better, fighters. Venjix. Yes, I think it is awesome they brought Venjix back. And I think it makes sense for the season. Something about everyone was always saying that Go Busters should have been a follow-up to RPM, which I agree with this idea too. And I think this is a perfect idea to have Venjix come back as the main villain because, RPM was a cliffhanger. Plus, I love the idea of a villain that every Ranger team has faced and like he's a reoccurring bad guy. And heck, if they make General Venjix the same guy, then he could come back then he could have literally say, I have literally fought every Red Ranger, like the first 10 Red Rangers, some Disney era members, and some Neo Saban era Rangers. Of course, they wouldn't say that on the show, but so I'm overall very happy with how they did Evox. Like, I think giving any type of hint that Evox was Venjix would have given it away, because So I like how it was held off until the finale. Now, a problem I had with, plot twists in Ninja Storm, Mystic Force, and Dino Charge was that it felt very out of nowhere. Like Keeper wouldn't have no reason not to tell the Dino Charge Rangers, oh, these Energems can travel back in time. Or like Mystic Mother, she is the source of all good magic. Oh, and she just happens to be Rita Repulsa. Oh, it turns out that my plan this whole time, yeah, it was on this scroll that I'm just now mentioning. Although with Lothor, it kind of, like, since he had fourth wall powers, maybe he was hiding it literally from the audience. But yeah, with Venjix, I definitely think this was one of the better plot twists. Even Andros and Astronema, she's wearing the necklace, the logo, throughout the early episodes. So yeah, I am happy that Venjix was brought back, and he may not be over yet. We'll just have to wait and see.
Yes. Oh, by the way, people are asking me, actually texting me on my Instagram. How'd you find out that Venjix was Eva was Venjix? The series kind of was leaked on the UK in the summer. Me and actually watched it.
Yeah,
me and actually watched it.
Yeah, two of us went by honor code until the penultimate at 2 episodes, where I'm like, all right, screw honor code. I want to watch these last 2 episodes. Let's go.
Yeah, and also
I stuck true. Like even the Thursday of last week, like they're like, so Mike, did you finish watching the show? I'm like, no.
We bugged the hell out of you.
And it's only like 6 hours before the episode actually airs. I'm like, yeah, what's another 6 hours?
Yes, I know. So like, what's my like? How did you find out how you? Well, again, I have connections, and yes, wink, wink. And again, shout out to Campbell Cooley for directing that awesome episode. For voice directing that episode, amazing. Avengers reveal.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway,
one thing I find particularly interesting about Scrozzle is that he's the first Power Ranger villain in a long while that did not have a Super Sentai counterpart. But what I also find interesting is that he looks a lot more like a villain from he looks a lot more like a villain from Go Onger than Go Busters or even Tokyuger or anything else. Like, I love that he actually looks like like a bad guy from RPM and not one of the other seasons that he could have been like amalgamized from. Like freaking Cosmo Royale. Let's be honest. He's Baron Nero from Tokyuger, except they replaced the Plague Doctor mask with like a funnier face.
Right.
Hey, who was the first villain the Lightspeed Ranger spot?
Yeah, it was Psycho Red. No, but it is the first time in a long while where the entire costume design was completely American original and not just like a pre-existing design with some changes made to it. And I love that the fact that the design is closer to the Banki from Go Busters, because that's a really nice Chekhov's gun to the fact that Evox is Venjix.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Something I wanted to mention right quick. Scrozzle, pretty much the same as he was in the first season. I think he was just as entertaining as he was here and there. It is kind of interesting how the season ends with him both alone. Like both seasons of Beast Morphers start and end with him by himself, which is kind of both funny and sad at the same time. Tronics, I think these guys look cool. I'm happy they're in Power Rangers. I was sad that when Go Busters skipped that we also didn't get these things, but now they're here and they serve their job well enough. Mm-hmm. And yeah, I think that's it for the villains. I think Season 1, the villains were fine the way they were. Season 2, I definitely felt they were more threatening. Like you guys said, avatars, they were, slowly killing off Blaze and Roxy. But here, I feel like they were like legitimately more of a threat to mankind. And also, I also forgot to mention about Venjix. They also kind of address why he wasn't so threatening in the first season, or that's because, he only had fragments of Venjix in him, but now he has the whole thing. So that's cool. So overall, I like the villains of Beast Morphers. Now someone else can go.
Okay, so before Leo takes it last, we have 2 more topics, guys, so don't worry. 2 more topics. Well, 1 more topic, then your thoughts. Go.
I'm making sure.
Actually, one thing I wanted to say real quick. I apologize, Leo.
You,
Uh, unless
you,
unless I can go after you, in which case
you can go after. Because I'm making short.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
The Vengeance reveal, very, very cool. I really enjoyed it. I appreciate the fact that they decided to go back and read and conclude a season that is still praised as one of the best seasons of Power Rangers. And low-key pretty much confirmed our theory that General Vengeance was Vengeance the entire time, just split into multiple parts. You have Evox and regular Vengeance. It's like freaking Snake. You have Solid Snake, Liquid Snake, and Solidus Snake. So I like that part. I like the reveal. I think it was really cool. Now I kind of wish that the finale was a 3-parter, but that's a different story for another time. We can talk about that. We can talk about certain things that they could have done all day, but it's almost night. But no, I love Vendrix as Evox. I love that reveal. It was something that I didn't see coming, even though it was right in front of me the entire time. It's like Tyler Durden was freaking Ed Norton and Brad Pitt the entire time, and they showed it to us the entire time. We just like, wait, what the heck is that? So I like that. Blaze and Roxy. Okay. Let me see. Priya. All right. So look. Teenage Dennis from Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
No. It's Johnny Lawrence of our new era.
So Dennis from Always Sunny.
Johnny Lawrence. Cobra Kai never dies.
So Dennis from Always Sunny in Philadelphia and Roxy. Yes, we can all agree Avatar Blaze and Avatar Roxy were better. I think the one caveat, though, I really enjoyed Robo Blaze more than Avatar Blaze because of the stuff that he did, and he was a lot more logical when he came to thinking. Like he's like, in case you forgot, Sharma did babyface turn at the end. So yeah, that's a no. Also, Zed would probably kill everyone. But I like that. I like that he's more logical. And honestly, it led to a couple of some very, very good fights with him and Devin. I prefer Avatar Roxy in my opinion, but Robo Roxy's still pretty cool and led to one of the best solo fights between her and Ravi in both Avatar and Robo Roxy. I really like both those fights. I like Avatar Roxy's death though because I'm sorry, Ravi double tapped her twice.
Yeah,
I'm a fan of that. He's like, you weren't getting out. Pop, pop.
Yeah, even like it's actually one of Jazz's favorite scenes too. When I actually interviewed him, so that was the most badass scene he did.
So yeah, Tronics, they're whatevers. They ain't really, in my opinion, they just serve to show. They're the only purpose they showed, aside from actually when the bad guys did win a couple of times, was to show, hey, we're getting our actors to actually fight. We're not just having them morph off Jump Street. We're going to show that they actually did their choreography, they did their work, and it looks really good. So, and it's fine. I like that. I like the fact that they do that. It's like the putties. The putties, you don't have to morph to fight the putties, and you just show off what the actors can do. The Quadratrons in space, same thing. Batlings, same thing. Cyclobots, same thing. Crybots. I can go on and on. It showed off the choreography, the great stonework and choreography that the team of Beast Morphers did have. And I like that. And Scrozzle, look, Scrozzle's one of my favorite side characters, side villains. I like him. Scrozzle is awesome. Camel Cooley knocked out the park. I didn't think he was going to knock out the park after Cosmo, because Cosmo is one of my favorite side villains of all time.
Not even that. I thought he would knock out Snide. Like he legit knocks to all the park. So yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah, so congrats to Campbell. I like Scrozzle. There you go. Go ahead, Mike. What were you going to say?
Yeah. So one thing I wanted to say was about Robo Blaze and Robo Roxy is, given the fact that every time they die, they have a backup of themselves to use to revive themselves, and they retain the memories that they had from the previous time they revive. So they kind of keep growing and learning. And given a couple of episodes I'm about to talk about, it low-key reminds me of two shows I really like. One is Kamen Rider 01, which we've reviewed, and with the human gears, but also it reminds me of Janet from The Good Place, where like every time she resets, like she gains more sapience and she becomes more and more advanced, more intelligent, more capable of comprehending nuance and emotion and stuff. And so like one thing that surprises me that they didn't go with, given the fact that the actors like really like showed the ability to do like hints of happening, was I'm surprised that Robo Blaze and Robo Roxy didn't develop the sapience to have a moment where they're like, what if I don't want to be an evil soldier, like trying to help take over the world? What if I just want to be myself, like find out who I want to be? Spend a year in Europe, that sort of thing. Like when you're in college, like, and the thing is, it's like I feel like they could have done that, like in that episode where Roxy is about to die, because like 2 episodes in a row, you got both Blaze and Evox gaslighting Robo Roxy. Like, it's like, this is always your fault. You're always a failure. If you don't shape up, we're going to destroy you. And you can see the look on her face. She's like, "What? I'm just trying to do my thing. Why are you guys ganging up on me?" And I'm like, what if Robo Roxy wanted to quit and wanted to be her own person, but she can't because 1, she's a robot working for Evox, and 2, there's an actual human Roxy who she cannot replace because it's not the same thing as Avatar. And when she destroyed the machine, like you saw the look on Robo Blaze's face, like you fool! Now if you die, you won't come back. Like that look on his face is like he cares about her longevity. I want to see this explored more, and it just makes me a little sad that they didn't explore it more. I mean, oh sure, like they could have killed off Roxy in that same episode, and then the next episode Blaze would be double thinking himself, like man, it sucks that Roxy died. Like, what am I gonna do now? I don't know if I want to be a soldier anymore. They could have done that. But they didn't. I'm not gonna question the writers or the producers or the actors. But the thing is, but to the credit of both Colby and Liana, it's like the fact that they were able to make such performances that it got me to think this could be a thing is props to them acting wise. But it also makes the writers look bad because they did do it.
Yeah, that's my thing. Like, the thing about Power Ranger villains now is like there's no more of that emotional connection. Like again, like RPM, there was emotional connection with Tenaya 7. She was a sister of Dylan, the Black RPM Ranger. Same thing with Lothar and his nieces. The nieces were just following their uncle. They're not really bad guys. They're just being abused and following their uncle, right? Because they have no family.
And they want to do good by him.
Yeah, and same thing. Nadira, like again, she was influenced by her dad. But Frax actually was the good guy. But that's why I actually cried when they basically wiped away.
I'm sorry, Dr. Varric, for everything. There is hope.
And Evox got to
anyway, Mr. Dr. Ferrix. Anyway, Dr. Ferrix. I should get what's his name? I should get a who voiced I interviewed
Eddie
Frierson. I should be like, hey, Eddie, you do your talk about Frax and the monsters right now. I was kidding. Anyway, next topic. Not a biggie. The meat. The Rangers themselves. Let's start with Devin. Cat picture.
Yes. Devin is probably my favorite of the Beast Morphers team. I just thought, like Rory said, he gave a lot of personality to the role. He had lots of cool and funny expressions. And, I did kind of like his method of, when I get to relax, I can relax. But when it's time to be a Ranger, it's time to get serious. So I like that about him. And funny enough, while he's probably my favorite, he's probably the one I have the least to say about. So someone else go.
Okay. We'll do each Ranger. I'll do it quick too. Devin, I liked him as a Red Ranger. Is he my favorite Red Ranger, like a top Red Ranger in my top 10? No, he's not. But I did like his character. He was a common Red Ranger. But I'll say this. A lot of Power Ranger seasons, are focused on a Red Ranger. I like that this season did not focus. I mean, maybe that's why I didn't really feel anything for him, because I felt that they didn't really focus on him a lot that much this season. But I did like this actor who portrayed him. It actually gave him a lot of energy, a lot of like again, the Anakin emotion. You see her face. I like that part. Yeah, I was like, okay, that episode. I forgot what was he showed the bush. Like, okay, this is great acting.
That was the second half of season 2 when they had to get Evox out of his dad.
Yeah, I even like showed Rory about So I showed a comment book to Rory. I even told Rory about it too. It's like, oh yeah, we actually liked that part, that scene. But yeah, Devin, great. I liked how he's laid back, like one of those laid back Red Rangers. Now, okay, so he's my top. I guess he's a commander now, with story purposes. But is he my top 10 or top 20? He's in my top 15 Red Rangers, but he's not my top 20. But he's a good character. I liked him. Next.
He's the best Red Ranger.
Oh, you're not being biased.
Yes, I am going to be very biased. I'm joking. I'm not going to be biased. No, what I love Devin obviously for a lot of reasons. But like, if we're talking about character development wise, I do agree. I felt as if part of the time I felt that he was a very underdeveloped character, and when they actually tried to flip the switch with the episode where we wanted him to heel turn, like be evil and everything, I was actually like, oh no, for real, like go anti-hero for a couple episodes, find yourself, and this will be some of the best like writing of a character development. Like what is my role? My dad is the mayor of the city and he thinks I'm a slacker, even though there's good money to be made as a game developer if you pick the right publishers and development teams. Just saying.
Naughty Dog ruining everything. Anyway.
Platinum. Anyways,
Bethesda.
anyways. No, not Bethesda. You remember Fallout 76? You know what happened with that game.
I'm trying to make them feel better, make them great, make
no,
them anyway.
Don't make them feel better. They haven't apologized yet. Okay. Apologize, Bethesda. Anyways, so going back to what I was saying, like I think season 2 though, that's where you saw more of the development of Devin. We saw we praised the first episode of the second half of season 2 a lot because it was some of the best facial acting that any of us have seen in Power Rangers in quite a while. I like that. I think more and more as the season progressed, we saw more and more of Devin being a better and better character. Like towards the penultimate episode, he got pissed that Blaze was treating Cruz like a piece of junk. Like robo lives do matter, bro. Just saying. And I like that. I like that Devin stood up for himself, and I like the fact that he stood up for his friends. I like that. I would consider him to be in my top 10, not my top 5. My top 5 is pretty stacked. But I'm just saying that scene where General Truman and Commander Devin in one room, guys, December 21st is going to be rocking and rolling for the Black community because that is just sheer 100% Black excellence. I like that. I'm done.
Next one before we go to Jazz. Robbie.
Yeah.
Robbie.
Yeah. So you guys pretty much stole what I was gonna say, the facial acting, because I'm the one who brought it up when we reviewed the episode.
Don't do tell more then.
But yeah, like seriously, that scene where like he's holding Evox at gunpoint, like he does that. He has such perfect facial acting where you legit believe he's about to hesitate. You legit believe he's gonna hesitate. You're like, come on, Devin, don't do it. And he didn't. He just wanted you to believe that. And when he does it so well that even the audience believes it,
yeah,
that's good facial acting. And he was pretty well developed, and I really like how he basically to some extent follows the RJ school of learning to be a ranger, where it's like you can't always do things by the book. Sometimes you got to be use what was it that Xavier called it? Creative problem solving.
Yes,
creative problem solving, and they really did a good job establishing, like from the very first scene of the show where you got Blaze teaching a karate class. He's the Red Ranger. Clearly, Blaze is supposed to be the proverbial Jason of the show, but no, he isn't. Like he's Jason with an ego, and who takes him down a peg? This slacker who likes to play video games, And it's like, yeah, and the fact that Blaze is supposed to be the best martial artist in the entire city, and on the first episode he got beat by Devin, who is essentially a nobody beyond being the mayor's son. Like that says a lot about how good Devin is, but also personality-wise, it shows that being a great leader isn't just about being the strongest or the smartest. It's about knowing the strengths and weaknesses of your team and knowing how to best utilize them and how to best mediate, strategies and tactics with them. And it was really well demonstrated in the anti-penultimate episode where, Blaze tries to give
Devin.
Devin the pointers, and those pointers did not work. And there were like other episodes. I would have liked some more of that heel turn episodes that we talked about, especially with the Beast X Fury mode. Like remember when Lily from Jungle Fury became a bad girl?
Don't know.
I
I have not seen Jungle Fury.
I'm not talking to you. I'm talking about the people here who did watch the episode.
Yeah, yes, I do remember.
Yeah, like I would have loved to see that. Like imagine.
Hey, Mike, thanks for pointing out the casual in this group.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry that I stopped watching Power Rangers when I was a teenager. I'm sorry.
I still watching it. I was a teenager. What are you talking about?
I stopped watching it. Okay, my bad. Get that off the screen.
So imagine if Devin was like put on a leather jacket instead of like doing work for his dad or doing ranger training. He's just kicking back, eating pizza, and playing video games. Just like, yeah, who cares? I'm super underappreciated, even though I'm the best ranger here.
Basically, like Jack.
Yeah, and I would have loved to have someone be like, you know what, Blaze was a jerk when he was a candidate for being the Red Ranger, but you're starting to act way too much like him. So much so you've become even worse than him. And then he'd have to like learn to babyface turn back to normal. Yeah. And I really wish they kind of did that in the second half, because again, the Battleizer should be like should be lion themed because of the new Megazord, and yes, with the fury of a lion. And that would have been a great callback to Jungle Fury.
Yes. Mm-hmm. All right, guys. Next we'll have to do, because of course, I don't know how long this thing went, but again, next Ranger. Ravi. I keep saying Jazz. Okay, sorry, Jazz. Okay, so Ravi.
Sorry. You're go first. I'm gonna go first for Rav. I'm gonna go last for Ravi, but first for Zoe.
Yeah, I'll do. Yeah, so I can do quick. All right, so for Ravi. Sorry, Jazz's name is so cool. I like his name. Okay, Ravi. Ravi's character. I'll be honest with you. I liked Jazz a lot, but I felt his character was kind of a little bit more undeveloped. Now this is why. Yes, he was. It showed he had other things. He was an artist. He loved detective movies, but that's pretty much it. Like, he's basically lived under his mom. I wanted to see more. Well, there's hints of that, but the thing is, again, time episodes. I get why, but again, I wish they expanded a little more and see like where do you learn it? Art. Because he did hint his uncle loved music. Mm-hmm. So maybe like his uncle taught him how to play art. Maybe his uncle was his father figure, and then maybe the mom maybe had a feuding with him or something like that. I want to see more personal drama, because the thing is, the mom. This is the first time we actually had a mom and a son dynamic. That was the first time we seen in Power Rangers for like a big thing. Right. What was it before? No. Yeah, it was the first time. Well, you could say Nick and his mom, but he didn't know. But this one you actually know from Mystic Force. So I like this part, but the thing is, I wish I expanded more upon it. I mean, let's just say that. I mean, I like Jazz, but his character, I felt could have been more. That's why a lot of people I see online saying like, yes, they love Ravi, but they felt Ravi should have been more
developed.
That's what I felt. Like with Devin, I mean, I'm not even mean, but Devin, of course, he's a Red Ranger. But the thing is, he actually had a lot more stuff to do, because I get the mayor and stuff like that, and plus, right. For Ravi, I felt he should have got more attention. I mean, that's fine. I mean, usually a lot of Blue Rangers doesn't get that much attention. I noticed in a lot of previous seasons, but Ravi could have been the one that might have broken the mold since SPD Blue. Actually, no, since RPM Blue.
Oh yeah, I want to be a hero.
Yes, I love RPM Blue. I love his character. I'll just say this before I go on topic. The RPM Rangers to this day, for you casual fans watching, they are the most developed Power Ranger characters in a story. Besides Time Force, they actually have a lot of development. Actually, you can say they're on par with Time Force for character development. All 5 Rangers. Anyway, yeah.
I'll go next because I'm gonna make it short. I do agree. I think now you gotta be saying it. Ravi was very underutilized, and I kind of wish that there were more episodes where we developed it. I mean, they did develop his relationship with Roxy, and we even saw that in the episode where he went back crap crazy. And I liked that episode, despite the Coke Zero CW writing that episode had. But I digress. But other than that, I mean, I do agree. I kind of wish they went more into his other talents besides. We saw him do detective work. We saw him do detective work in part 2 of The Grid Connection, which is really good. And we saw him do with the whole painting. Pretty much his whole side story is like he's afraid to tell his mom that he likes to paint, which okay. And then his mom accepts it automatically. Okay. But what are you going to do after this? So I get what you mean, though. I still like Ravi. I think Ravi's a good character. And as a second command, I really, really enjoyed him, especially when there are episodes where Devin's not in it or he's coming back. He's going to be in the next part of the episode. I liked him being second command. So, yeah, that's my thing about Ravi.
All right, next, quick, Mike.
Right. Okay, so I'm going to say this. Jismeet as an actor, he does a great job with whatever that was given to him. Like even in like the worst of Ravi episodes, he gave it his all, and he did with what was given to him. As far as the character Ravi goes, it is a bit of a mixed bag because I love some of the traits he exhibits throughout the seasons, but like I would have liked to see them developed more. Like, for example, like the relationship between him and his mom, it low-key reminds me of Wes and his dad, where Wes wanted to do his own thing, but his dad wanted him to carry on the family business. I would have loved to see more of that clash, be more realized, especially like with the whole uncle thing. Like it'd be great if they explored, the relationship between his mom and his uncle more. For the most part, Ravi reminds me of Silent from Pokemon Black and White, the anime, where like at first it's like you don't know what to expect. They just wrote Brock off the show, and Brock is our favorite character. So it's like, who's this guy who's replacing Brock? But then it's like Silent's is like a cooking connoisseur, a train connoisseur, an art connoisseur, a detective connoisseur.
Grandfather, my bad. Sorry, grandfather. Sorry.
Yeah.
Thank you for correction, Edward. Grandfather.
Yeah, I would have loved to see the relationship between the mom and the grandfather. You don't have to physically show the grandfather because, like we talked about with Spider-Man, you don't need to see Uncle Ben, but we do need to know the kind of relationship he had with Uncle Ben.
Yes.
And I think that's why we thought it was Ravi's uncle. But yeah, I would have loved, Ravi on screen reading more books about from Arthur Conan Doyle or Agatha Christie, and have him do more actual detective work. I would have loved to see him do more artwork. I would love to see him argue with his mom more in certain episodes when he has to choose between his passion versus his work, especially with his relationship with Roxy. And with Human Roxy, I wanted to see more episodes with the two of them together because first season I can understand she's comatose. Second season, no reason to keep her out of the show unless they establish that she's off in Australia with her aunt who has her own Wesley Collins relationship that we discussed. It's like a lot of good potential, but they could have done better for the most part with that. And again, I really wanted to see him get a little bit more angry at Nate. It's like, this whole time you've been dating Zoe, while I had to sit here and I had to straight up break up with Roxy while you're dating Zoe. What's up with that, bro? What's up with that?
Yes.
My two least favorite Ravi episodes, though, I would have to say would be Boxed In and the one where he's having that fight with, the first half of the episode where he has that fight with Roxy. Because with Boxed In, he comes off kind of selfish with the whole, I want to watch the weightlifting thing, so I'm going to shirk my responsibilities.
Well, keep in mind for that one. It was supposed to be a Special Olympics episode, but
I know, but still, it's like, given the fact that he's the by the book trope character, it just
they broke that.
Yeah, and as for the anniversary episode, Roxy and Ravi's anniversary episode, I wasn't a fan of the first half of the episode in that both of them were being kind of selfish in that regard. Again, Jasmine's acting was really good in that. I just hate what both characters were doing. But the second half was great. And again, if I could just
time out before you do. Jim Cornette alert. Let's go.
I still stand by the fact that in that final scene, Roxy should have hugged Robbie, saying, "I'm sorry for not trusting you, Robbie. You really are a big boyfriend." And he's like trying to attack her, like.
No,
you know, like Tommy
Kissed.
from King for a Day when he's instinctually trying to attack Catherine, but he's also resisting it because he cares about her. I want Robbie to do that because of that whole berserk thing. That's the one thing I would change about the second half of that episode. Beyond that, Robbie is just fine.
All right, guys, you had to move this quick. Kent.
Okay, I think Robbie, like everyone said, his quirks are kind of all over the place. He's like by the book guy. He's the rebellious guy. He's apparently the team's idiot, which he has in common with his Ninja Steel predecessor. I think at times he's fine. Like, I do kind of like when he's like second in command and all that. And also, I do think it's interesting that his mom is, his boss. But her role in the show, like, I love Commander Shaw. She's awesome. She looks cool. But the idea of her being his mom comes off even more like an afterthought than Levi being the real Aiden in Ninja Steel. It's just, I feel like they don't do enough with it. Also, now, back in our Fossil Frenzy review, I said Robbie had something in common with Robbie and Zoe. Now we're just segueing into Zoe's segment. They have something in common with, ironically, another blue and yellow ranger, and also something in common with a pink ranger. Their setup is very similar to Yuji, Juri, and Momo from O-Ranger, where Yuji was painted as the team's, idiot, or the team's butt monkey or most irresponsible member, when Momo and Jiru are possibly shown to be much more irresponsible. When it comes to Ravi and Zoe, it's the opposite. Zoe is painted as the team's bad decision maker and the one that messes up, when Ravi has made catastrophically worse decisions in the show than her.
That is true.
Overall, I like Ravi fine. It's just he's kind of all over the place, and there could be some things done better with him. And as for Zoe, I like her too. She has good spunk, and she's likable. And are we gonna have to move on?
Well, we're on Zoe.
Now you're going Zoe. To Zoe now.
Yeah, we're moving into Zoe. I think she has a likable personality. She has good spunk. She makes me think of what a Sentai. Her personality makes me think of a Sentai female for some reason. Just something about, I solve big problems. Overall, she was decently acted, and I do appreciate Jackie for like when she approaches Zoe in this role, she tried to give him, or she gave her a different sounding voice than how she normally talks. So that's cool. And I also enjoyed like their little subplot with her and Nate. I thought that was cute. And it was cool that her and her mom, and I like the role with her and her mom and her brother. overall, I like Zoe. They've been massively bigger mistakes made by more incompetent Rangers, but
Okay,
overall, I think she's fine. Not amazing. Just I like her the way she is. Anyway, now someone else.
I'll go next real quick. Real quick, Zoe. Yes, she's made mistakes. I even addressed the fact that she plateaus after season 1. Because season 1, you see her do some big things. The whole economy thing. She saved the entire economy of the city with those damn Morph X bikes. And after that, it's just done. That's it. Nothing else happens until her and Nate finally confirm they should have kissed. They should have kissed. Just saying. But obviously, yes, we can make fun of Zoe all day about the thing that went down with Keeper and everything like that. But I said this before and I say it again. I think she honestly redeemed herself for being more competent when the episode about her brother. I think that is one of the most well-written episodes for Zoe alone. I wish there were certain things I wish they could have done. Like they should have established her and Nate's relationship further and further and actually make them kiss. That's a different story for another time. I like Zoe. I like Jackie. There you go.
All right. So for Zoe, now again, like what Kent said, she actually reminds me of a Super Sentai Yellow Ranger or a Super Sentai Ranger. You know, like always want to be good, do good, and do like help people. First season, she was actually really good.
Yes.
Second season, it was like this, then get a little bit like up, but not fully. I liked how she basically, wants to help people. Again, she has great ideas. I love that. Plus, also, she is an underdog. She is a laundry girl. I like that part. She's a laundry girl. I like how they established in the end of the finale, like when her mom is the journalist, she's like, I need my daughter to come. I was like, well, no, she's important. Like, what? She's a laundry girl. I was like, hey, even laundry girls it can be special. And of course, when he took up the helmet, I'm like, okay. Actually, to argue with you, Leo, the part where she meets her mom was actually her biggest point because it actually showed her now accomplishment from an underdog now to an actual hero. That was her final, that part.
I see what you mean, yeah.
Yeah. Again, the brother episode was really good. I like that part. I agree. That was like the most well-developed like a character episode for her. But she did a lot of mistakes that I cannot go far, especially in second season. First half, she was fine. The first season, she was fine. Second season, yeah, you could say she kind of went a little too rebellious. But again, she redeemed herself by reading Carl Grace's theory of Power Rangers by blasting the monster and top. Pew pew. Overall, Zoe, I liked her character. I also wish that they actually made her a dancer too, because her actress Jackie Suslowski is also a professional dancer. I wish you actually put that into it because. Because Roy said like the reason why Roy became a gamer because Roy's also a huge video gamer. I think that's why. Yeah. So that's it.
Mike, go ahead, bro.
I still believe she was exposed to something that made her decisions, but
stop that. Mike, go.
No, Kent.
The one thing I would more or less have to agree with Kent on is I understand she didn't have as much experience about it as Ravi did. But you had a year and a half to catch up on your Ranger history. So, yeah, when you see a hooded figure in a red robe, that's one of two people. That's either Keeper or Andros. One of those two people.
Or Heckle. Heckle has a hood.
I don't recall Heckle having a red hood.
He does have a red hood. I actually remember snapshots of him.
He gives him a hood.
I remember him dressed differently. Anyways, but the point is, first things first. Wait up. Let us catch up to you, and then we'll proceed with caution. No, straight up goes into the ship, triggers the self-destruct. Then she gets Keeper collared, even though it's very clear that it's Keeper.
Hey, Mike.
I cannot do that. But don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. I agree with Kent in that Chase had no position to lecture her on it because I still remember the coins. I remember that one chick he tried to impress while keeping the suit on. I haven't forgot about that. But But just because one person screwed up doesn't excuse the other person from screwing up.
Even if they suck their world into a black hole.
Anywho, I did like her more in the first half of the show because she was an earnest person, and yeah, the fact that she did start off as a laundry girl shows that what as the moral of the movie Ratatouille says, the greatest individual can come from anywhere. Who knows, the greatest, like you could have the greatest idea in chemistry or engineering just by working in the laundry. Heck, Albert Einstein worked in the patent office when he couldn't fully crack down on one of his theories. And sometimes, heck, even in the movie Game Plan with Dwayne Johnson, learning ballet is what helped him win the Super Bowl. Let's be honest. And Bruce Lee learned cha-cha, he was city champion. So I like how she was able to incorporate some of her own creativity in the first half. I will say this though, I would have liked to see more rivalry between her and Roxy. Yes, I said that I like the fact that Roxy is rivals with Ravi because of both Sentai and Beast Morphers reasons. But I also like the idea of them being two different Yellow Rangers in that it's kind of like Ace Squad, where it's I was trained to be imagine they're clashing swords. It's I was trained to be a ranger. You're just a laundry girl. You don't stand a chance.
Yes.
I would have loved to see that. My one other issue with Zoe is when you're dealing with chemicals, read the label. Don't get me wrong. I appreciate that she was willing to climb Mount Zane who recharges his morpher, but she wouldn't have to do that. She would just read the label in the chemicals, proper lab procedures. And yes, this is something I hold against Steel, that ice cream with the ice cream. But we're gonna get to that when we get to Steel. But yeah, and again, going back to Zoe and Nate, I wish they did more with the two of them together than just the one episode where Megan tries to sabotage their relationship, and the one episode where they almost kissed. And yes, they should have fully kissed at the end. And it was just completely honestly, one of my biggest issues with Zoe and Nate's relationship is the fact that after the one episode where they got outed for being in a relationship, and then Shaw said that oh yeah, you're totally cool, you could totally date now. They completely dropped that plot all together. Say what you will, but at least with Zane and Astronema, they kept that whole thing going, even though it wasn't explicitly brought up. When Zane came back, or when Zane wanted to stay on KO35 with Corone, or Leo and Kendricks. They kept that going to some degree, even past the episode where Kendricks unfortunately, got Psycho Pink. But I just wish they at least had hints that they're still dating each other, and not just she happens to be in the lab with him.
Okay, next we're doing Steel. Steel, guys, Steel.
I'm going first. Steel's the best Silver Ranger we've had in a long time. He has a lot of personality. I love him. He is pretty much all of us. He is the audience. I love Steel because he empowers us all to be that makes no sense whatsoever. I like Steel. There's nothing else I could say about it. Amazing character. Glad he became a human afterwards, because it also led to a great musical number.
Great to be human. Okay, fine. Okay, I'll go next. Sorry, guys, we're rushing because this technique cannot go for 2 hours, so that's why we're actually rushing this thing now. So Steel, the best character in the series so far. I'm sorry, he is the best character. He has kudos to his voice actor. He gives a lot of emotion. Again, it's just voice acting. A lot of emotion, a lot of personality, and plus, rest in peace, Spot. Rest in peace, Spot. His plant.
Spot died for us all.
There's a lot. He can't eat. He cannot drink. He cannot. He can't feel emotional love and touch from his bro or his friends. And his pet plant died. So of course, Steel is I'll say that Steel is actually my top 5 Silver Rangers, because the thing is, he was well developed. I'll say that Steel is the most developed character in the story. even though he's in a few episodes. He is the most developed, in my opinion. Because you see, even though he's being all lucky and all happy, you see hints that he actually is kind of depressed because he wants to be human. That's why the Great to Be Human musical was a great episode, and that's because I love musicals. But it showed how I actually like this. Is why I give credits to Simon Bennett for doing this, because it shows like, okay, this is what Steel would look like when he was a human. Well, not he looked like, but basically this is how he actually felt. That's why when he was in Nate's body, he was so happy. He's now I feel for the guy. That's why when he died, I actually did kind of like, oh no, he died. He actually did tear up a bit. It's like, and when he came back to human, I'm like, okay, he came back to human, but overall, Steel is the best character in Beast Morphers. He actually kept this show going and entertaining. And plus, I love his quips. It reminds me of Marvel's Cinematic Universe. So overall, Steel, best character. Also, kudos to the voice actor. I actually like your human. Also like the human actor. I like how he.
And Evox got to him again.
Evox!
While he recovers, okay. I personally think...
And Evox killed again and are still ready.
Yep.
Overall, I like Steel. I think, there's something very charming about how he wants to do things, and he's a bit naive, and, like he has some funny bits. But overall, he makes me think of what Captain Man would be like if he was a robot and in Power Rangers. Just some about the way I read the description of Captain Man from Henry Danger / Danger Force, and something about the way he sounds very much like Steel. Yeah, I liked Steel and fine. I think it's interesting to finally have a robot be a ranger, and he's funny, and like I said, he has a very charming optimism, which is very addicting, and yeah, overall I did enjoy him as a character, and if we get time, I will mention something else about each of the Rangers. But Mike, you go.
Right. I'm going to try to make this as quickly as I possibly can because I know we're pressed for time. Steel is basically the Pikachu of the season. Like I know the Japanese version it would have been Cruz, but here it's Steel, and honestly, I don't mind. Like he's the most lovable character, and like he is the one who actually goes through the most development. Like he started off being an obnoxious jock. It's like you're the smart one, but I'm the handsome one. And then he becomes like, hey bro, I love you and I want to be human just like you. And I love the adorable childish way he expresses his desire to be human. Like, hey dad, can I have money for ice cream? I know I can't eat ice cream, but I always want to be able to ask my dad for ice cream money. And then he like totally destroys lab protocol by like holding actual ice cream in his hand, causing himself to short circuit. But I'm like, but it's like, it makes me sad for him because he really wants to be human. The one downside I would say about Steel, and I'm gonna finish off with that, is, as I've said before, I would have liked more scenes in the second half to include more scenes with Steel hang out with Human Blaze and sort of find common interests with each other in order to sort of like justify. It's like, yeah, they would become actors together, and Blaze would be his stunt double, and of course I would have liked to have at least some kind of dream sequence where like they show the human actor earlier on to say this is how he sees himself being a human, so that's like this is why he looks this way, and yeah, that's pretty much it.
And last but not least, give it to me, Ryan. And Ryan got hit with Evox again. Hold up.
Oh, I got you. No worry. Anyway, next one is you go first. Next. Hey. Anyway, next.
Here, I got
one
it. I got you.
Next one is Steel. I mean Nate.
There you go. All right. So Nate Silva. Let's talk about Nate Silva real quick.
This is the main character of Beast Morphers. That's I'm serious.
Yeah, he's the main character. Okay, so I'm gonna make this very short. I like the fact that he is pretty much Earth 1 Dr. K. There are things I know Ryan's gonna talk about it, but I'm just gonna say it. So his character development, for the most part, was good. Season 1, we could have seen better, but keep in mind he wasn't a Ranger just yet. and I felt as if like his what Abraham, and I love you, Abraham, what he was given, it could have been better, but it wasn't until season 2 that's when we saw Abraham come out. Especially, and I know we praised this episode so many times. Great to Be Human is probably Abraham's breakout episode aside from the finale when he watched Steel die. I love Abraham's performance later season of the show. I think you see him come into his own and as a ranger and as an actor, which makes me excited for when he's going to be in the Saved by the Bell show on Peacock. So, congrats to Abraham. I really enjoyed Nate's character.
Yes. I'll go next. I'll say this: as much as Steel is the best character, Nate's the main character of the series because 1, he did create the Power Rangers powers, and 2, the story legit resolves around him. He created Evox. Mistakenly, he helped Vengeance come back to Earth. Like his basically without even show what episode when his parents came back, it showed that he is the heart and the grind of the team. Because without him, Rangers the Rangers are like effed up.
Right.
See, that's why Nate is the main character to see. That's why I liked about RPM. Like it focused on the Black Ranger. This one, you could tell, it's focused on the Gold Ranger. And plus, Nate's a good inspiration to other people because it showed that, hey, hard work, you don't need to do like martial arts. And through hard work, through determination, and through, brains, you can become a Power Ranger. Look, same thing with Billy. And same thing with Ziggy from RPM. He actually tried hard and worked hard. See? So, again, Nate Silva, again, second half of Beast Morphers, he killed it. I mean, first half, you could tell, like, but second half, this is legit Nate's series. So, this is a Gold Ranger. So, you can say, yeah. Now, what's funny is, I'll say this right now. Nate Silva is in my top 3 Gold Ranger list. Actually, no. He's actually number 2. He's number 2 in my list because the thing is, it's true. He created the Beast Morpher powers. He legit stopped Benjox. Well, with Dr. Help, in case help. And it showed in the series. Without him, they're effed up. Yeah. Okay. He helped create the Ranger powers of Beast Morphers with research and technology. So yes, I'll say right now, Nate Silva is in my top 3. He's number 2. My number 1, it's still gonna be Zeo Gold. Yeah.
All right, nice. Kent?
Actually, Mike, you go first because I want to go last on Nate.
I would say Nate is basically Dr. K if he was never kidnapped and never met Gem and Gemma. So he becomes Ranger Series Gold and gives Ranger Series Silver to an android, to a Vengeance attack bot that somehow got reformed, like Model 0 of the antivirus. This is Project Steel, and he'll be Ranger Series Silver. And meanwhile, Gem and Gemma eventually become, a Ben and Betty, but that's a different thing. And he was basically the main character because much like how Dr. K was the main character in RPM, he ended up being the one who created Evox. He created his best friend and his worst enemy, and he had to reconcile the fact that he has to destroy one to destroy the other. But thankfully, karma was very nice that particular day, so he managed to, gain a brother where he lost a friend, and I like that. Again, I want more scenes with him and Zoe and have them actually kiss. but also, I would have loved to see more. But like in the first half, I would have also liked to see more on-screen moments of him trying to train because he's a ranger now and he's struggling with it. Like we see him walking out of a gym wearing gym clothes, but I want to see him like actually struggling to train. And then he has to learn to be a competent fighter on his own, kind of like Billy from Mighty Morphin. We're like. First day of karate class, he's already a Power Ranger. Or Ziggy. Or Ziggy. And so he has to learn to fight by trial by fire.
Yes.
But if I could Jim Cornette one nitpick, I wish they would have switched colors, like have Steel be gold and Ziggy be silver, just so that when they could do the thing from Go Busters where when the Gold Ranger when the Silver Ranger does his intro, the Gold Ranger's like, hold on, I need to do my theme. I need to do my intro.
Yes. All right. Last. After this, we'll do Ben and Betty, guys. We'll do it quick.
Okay, so yeah, like I said, Nate is pretty much the main character of the show. And for those who say the show focused too much on him, it's like this is how Chiplin seasons work normally. Leo in Lost Galaxy, Carter in Lightspeed, Jen in Time Force, Cole in Wild Force. It's just, normally there's one character that the series tends to focus on.
Oh, and Andros in space.
Yes, okay. Andros in space. And overall, I think I like the idea of Nate and his character. He's the scientist, and he also ended up becoming a part of the main hero team. I thought at first he had some annoying acting quirks or annoying bits, like him wanting to be brothers with Steel kind of came off a little too awkwardly. But I kind of contribute any type of socially awkward moments to the fact that he was raised in a lab, didn't really develop his social skills very well, and so that's the in-universe reason for why I think he acts the way he does. And overall, like I said, I do enjoy like the parallel between him and Dr. K, and I think he's over. And I also enjoyed, his relationship with Zoe. I thought they had some cutesy moments. Also, funny thing about each of the Rangers in the season, they all kind of end up accomplishing a goal they set out to achieve in the first episode, and they ultimately kind of meet these goals at the end of the show, which I think is pretty cool. And I think that's the first time a series has done that in a long time, or ever, really. And none of these like earnings feel cheated. They do feel like these were genuine wins for the heroes. And while they don't undergo major arcs, I do think that is cool that they ultimately get something in the end. Like Devin wants to prove himself to his dad, and he becomes the commander of Grid Battle Force. Robbie wants to fix his relationship with Roxy, and they get together, and he even shows his mom that what his passion is. And Zoe wants to, solve big problems, and she ends up, fixing, Coral Harbor's, traffic problem, and she presumably takes part in the turbine and solar farm project that they did after the tower system failed. And also, since we're going to the next characters, Ben and Betty even kind of accomplished something by the end of the show. Like, they start off like the team, like the comic relief, and they're kind of, idiots throughout the whole time. And I thought their comic relief in the first season was way too forced, and it felt like it was mandatory. Oh, we need to have a moment where they slip on something. With Ben and Betty, I like them. They're funny, and they have funny moments, and I don't think they're nearly as annoying as Victor and Monty were in Ninja Steel. But I do think they could have been used better. For example, this woman appears in almost every episode, and I literally found out today she has no name. Like, they could have had, what I think they should have done is have Ben and Betty basically be what these two were in Go Busters.
I think they were those two in Go Busters. I think I think that's what I heard from. Yeah,
I know, but I think they should have been the ones working at the computers, because for a show that likes to save money, you cast a woman to, be a stand-in for several episodes, give her a few lines. You don't give her a name, but it just seems like extra, like, petty checks that you didn't need to sign. Like, I think Ben and Betty would have been, like, it would have been much better if they had them be like the computer people, and maybe have them do a few zany moments, but nothing too over the top. Season one, I thought they were kind of but season 2, much better. And like I said, being exposed to Dr. K made them awesomer.
Yeah. All right. So before I go next, I want to give nominations to, of course, Commander Shaw and Mayor Daniels. We did already talk about them. They rarely appear in the episodes, besides their roles just becoming commander. Yeah, Mayor Daniels, good character, but barely seen in the series. And of course the mom. Actually, shout out to the parents. This is a parent season. Commander Shaw, basically a commander, like being her motherly figure while being commander of Great Battle Force. Not even much to talk about them because, of course, they're just doing their roles. But again, kudos to the actors who portrayed them. Now going back to Ben and Betty, because they actually are one of the main characters in the series. So Ben and Betty, when I first saw them, like,
yeah,
and I was actually kind of annoyed that Betty was kind of small, because again, Asians get small. The first scene, I'm like, really, we're doing this again? Really, we're doing it again? Like we did in Ninja Steel? But yes, they were annoying in the beginning, but I give credit to Simon Bennett again because the first half, they were legit annoying as heck. But I noticed this too. They learn from their mistakes, especially in second season. Remember the part where the net
Yep.
actually worked? I'm like, okay, we're seeing something here. So basically, and then of course, Dr. K helped them become, and again, it showed that in my article, I shared my article that just came out about how to change power, how to cater Power Rangers to younger and older
Evox just loves
Belfast
messing with
users
it.
because they didn't know what they're doing.
Man, Evox
They didn't know
really
what they're
has it
doing.
in for Ryan.
Whatever. They didn't know what they were doing. Can you guys hear me now?
Yeah, we can hear you. Keep going.
They didn't know what they were doing. But as the season progressed, they learned from mistakes, and of course, being with the Rangers, they got better, and they became now the Boom. They became Boom and Doc. Basically, became Balkan's not Balkan. I can say Balkan's called. They became Boom, Girl Boom, and Boom from SPD.
Yeah,
They
Boom split into 2 parts. Yes.
Yes, so that's what I liked about them, and they became good battle force officers without their daddy's help. See what I mean? I like the part, yeah. So Ben and Betty, great characters. And plus, I like Cosme and Christina. You guys killed it. And also, kudos to the writing for developing them.
I'm just gonna keep it really short. I concur everything you just said. So, you took everything I was gonna say. Kudos to Ben and Betty for getting better in season 2. So there you go. Kudos. Mike take it away?
Okay, I'm gonna try to give it as short as I can. Yeah, basically they were two separate booms working together. But I do like how Betty is a short one, but more hot-headed, while Ben is the bigger one, who's more lax. And if I remember correctly, Betty's the older sibling, which kind of adds to the whole Sentai trope of the big brother being shorter. And yeah, to me, they were basically Bulk and Skull from season 2 if they had access to SPD technology, because they have all these amazing ideas and the competence to build these amazing inventions, but somehow it always backfires on them to Bulk and Skull fashion. But they also show incredible physiological resilience to go through all that physical trauma. And they are proactive in wanting to help the Rangers out in every way they can. So I would have liked them to just for one episode have one of them wear the green hippo outfit and the other one wearing the black puma outfit from Go Busters 1 year later. And yes, even have an episode where they have to go underwater in the Frog Zord from Go Busters the movie. Maybe there's a Battle Force tower that's being attacked underwater and the Rangers can't get to it, so they have to use an experimental Zord that only appears in one episode because it only has power for that. Beyond that, there's not much I could say about them. I love them even in episodes where they're just annoying and sometimes you just don't need that slapstick. But again, it's not as terrible as Victor and Monty, who, by the way, were the real heroes of Ninja Steel.
Actually, I'll agree with you. They were the heroes of Ninja Steel. Okay, guys, I found out we actually have 30 minutes. Oh, wow, I only thought we have 10. Oh, okay.
I gotta head out though.
Oh, okay. So, okay. All right, then we'll do this. After you Kent, we'll do our final rating of the series. Okay.
Okay.
All right. So, Kent, next.
What I thought about what?
Ben Betty.
Oh yeah, I like them overall. As
I
kind of already gave my.
Okay. All right. So my take. I'll do this. My final take on the season. Beast Morphers is I'll say this. Beast Morphers is legit the Force Awakens of Power Rangers. It is a lot of copy and paste. Not copy and paste. It has a lot of copy and paste. Yeah, we can't use music, bro. It's a lot of copy and paste from the past seasons, but done right. It's basically to acknowledge fans like, hey, we know your concerns. We got you. We know what you want, and also to a new generation of fans. Because again, the Vengeance thing was surprising. I didn't expect that. And the fact they actually did portray him well, or did set it up well, that's really good. And of course, we can mention the Dino. Don't forget the Dino team up. We did talk a lot about in our past review, but again, I want to give us that. Good job, good writing, good five-parter. Overall, Beast Morphers as a whole, I would say, is it good without those stuff? Yes. As a season, even though you didn't put Vengeance in it, it's actually a really good season. It's well written. It had flaws, but it's watchable. We actually did rewatch the first 9 episodes. I actually did enjoy it.
It didn't feel like a chore.
Yeah, it didn't feel like a chore. Again, like Ninja Steel felt like a chore. I'm like, that's why you could. I'll be admit. In the past episodes, you could see me being bored of like talking about it. I'll be honest with that. In the past, you actually would watch previous episodes. But this one, nope. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed all the way. So overall combining season 1, season 2, it's gonna be a low 8 out of 10. Low 8 out of 10. It's actually in my top 10 Power Ranger series. It's number 10 in my Power Ranger series.
Okay, I'll go next real quick. So, going off what you said, yeah, there are things about this Beast Morphers that could have been done better. We've addressed it. We've Jim Cornetted it many, many times. But does it take away from the fact that we enjoyed it? Absolutely not. We enjoyed Beast Morphers from the beginning to end, through the good, through the bad, through just the downright stupidity. We still like Beast Morphers. We like these characters. They gave us characters that we can actually root for. They gave us a story that we actually like. And they gave us a team up that didn't feel anticlimactic. They didn't give us a crossover that they do everything in like 3 minutes or less. They actually put that on simmer and let it cook. And I like that. I like that a lot. I love the characters. I love the story. It did not feel like a chore to watch it compared to Ninja Steel. No offense to the actors from Ninja Steel. You guys are still amazing people. But yeah, I like the fact that there's more to it, especially with Devin's story and Ravi's story and Zoe's story. Despite how sometimes they're underutilized, I like how their stories all interconnect. I gotta give the entire show, season 1, season 2, a low 9 out of 10.
Okay, Kent.
Actually, might go next. So because I started the series with you guys, so I'll clip it up.
Right, because of the whole passing of the keys to the castle, I was really concerned. Like, would it be more of the same? Would it be better? Would it be worse than what we've had for the last decade? And for the most part, yeah, it was better. I mean, it was rocky in earlier points, but like in the last quarter where it mattered the most, it gained its footing, became more consistent, and knew what it wanted to do with the season. I like that. Again, there are some issues with pacing, and yeah, we could Jim Cornette a bit, but some interesting things is that in the last 5 teams that we've watched, this is the first time where I actually like the second half of the show more than the first half. Like y'all know, I like Super Samurai, not as good as Samurai. Super Mega Force, not as good as Mega Force. Dino Supercharge, not as good as Dino Charge. Super Ninja Steel, not as good as Ninja Steel. But Beast Morphers Season 2, it was better. It was a lot better. I mean, Saber Shores was bad, but the season was great.
It was really great too.
And yeah, there are issues. No season of Power Rangers is flawless. Like RPM, like even when I talked with Disney Brain, yeah, RPM is one of the best seasons, but even that has flaws in it that we can look through. And even some of the worst seasons, like for me, Operation Overdrive was one of my least favorite seasons back in the day, while Bokenger was my most favorite season of the Sentai. And yet I was able to point out one thing I liked in Operation Overdrive that they didn't do in Bokenger. And yeah, so like this season isn't perfect, but I will accept it. And like while I was like at first like weirded out, it's like, why is it at 5 a.m? But this season was actually good enough for me to actually want to wake up 5 a.m. to watch it. And I did. These last 12 episodes we reviewed, I've watched the episodes 5 a.m. You can even look at our private chats where I make a quick comment at 5:30 in the morning.
Yeah, okay. So what's your rating?
I give it a high 8 because like I know that if they passed the keys to Hasbro sooner and made those staff and writing changes earlier, where it's more consistent with the last quarter of the show, this could have been a high 9, maybe a low 10.
Yeah.
But transitions are a bad word. We saw what happened with Wild Force. I'm satisfied with what we got here. And yes, Beast Morphers is still rewatchable. I'm gonna rewatch the first episode after the stream is over.
All right. Last but not least, started.
Mr. Kent.
Finishing out the series that I started with you guys. So,
Yep.
Beast Morphers is a good series, but not without its flaws. It has, the first season was a bit rocky, but I do feel like tone-wise, it feels like a good step in the right direction. And I think, season 2 was a big improvement. And like I said, I think the writing feels very reminiscent of how Zio did things, with how they built up stuff and how they gave overall payoffs. There are some slip-ups here and there, but I do think it feels like there was more revisions in this season. The tone of the show, like I said, it does feel more like a standard Saturday morning show. It doesn't feel like it's talking down to you. It doesn't feel like it's pandering. And something I will say about the Nickelodeon shows is that I do feel they are aware of the more mature stuff that previous seasons have done. It's just someone or something is keeping them from telling mature stuff themselves. But I think for the most part, the American adaptation of Go Busters has done the thing that it was destined to do since the suits were first released or even first thought of. And that is the American adaptation is a follow-up to RPM, which I think is great. And overall, like I said, I think last year, even like I said, if I wasn't too crazy about season 1, but when I did a rewatch, I actually found myself really enjoying it. And I also did enjoy the Neo Saban seasons for the most part in some way. But I do think this is a good step in the right direction. And like I said, this is more of the segue between Neo Saban and Hasbro's era. And so Dino Fury will be the official start of it. And so, but overall, like I said, I think Beast Morphers is fine as it is. It could have been perfect. It could have been better, but what we did get was really good. And so overall, I would give this series 9 out of 10.
All right, guys. We're gonna read your comments. All right, we'll leave Gus. Comment time.
Finally.
YouTube, Facebook. We'll try to get through all these but thank you guys so much.
We're sorry we took so long.
We're going GDF way. Don't leave fan behind.
Oh Jesus. Okay, let's do this.
Noah Cummings says hi. Yeah, he's the first. You did it again.
Noah
the first. Cody Blight. No.
No.
Hey guys, what's up, man?
Hi.
What's up, Timmy?
You didn't hear the news that Japanese Spider-Man is gonna be on.
Oh my God.
Mr. Dickovich. Oh my God. I love Mr. Dickovich.
Spider-Man. Anyway, Everett Sanchez says, hello. What's up, man?
Hello, Edward.
I like the RPM crossover.
What's up, Asil?
Yes. Mike Ferris says, hey guys.
What's up, Mikey? Yes, I owe you your
Mikey,
$5 for MorpherCon.
Oh, Mikey, thank you for the nice comment you did for my article. I appreciate it. Dio Ortega says, hey guys, what's up, man?
What's up, David?
Mikey Perez, the first half of second season kept Beast Morphers. Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah,
I agree with that.
Yeah, that damn Save Our Shores episode. That damn episode, dude. Oh my God.
That episode's the lightning rod to everything we hate about our Beast Morphers.
I think the teacher says hi.
Hi, Tom.
The Captain R. Oh, that you're cool. RGD. Oh, I like that name. Will Die Fury be any good? Hopefully, yes. Well, as we see now for Beast Morphers, I'm highly confident it will be good. Especially Simon Bennett's interview with our sister team, the Moon Nerdy. I am highly confident.
If it keeps up the momentum of the last quarter of Beast Morphers, it should be good. Again, I hope whoever the showrunner is, whether it's Netflix or Nickelodeon, I hope the creative team will be given that freedom to show the story that they want to show.
Beast Morphers is full. Yes, I agree with you. That's why
it was. A lot of Jim Cornette that season needs.
Basila, dude, that's true. Yes. Justice for Human, Blaze, and Roxy. I agree with you.
Yeah.
Hey guys, I'm going to miss Beast Morphers. It was way better than Ninja Steel and didn't even use the Ninja Steel. Oh yeah, I don't know that too. Yeah.
Yep. So Johnny, how you doing, bro?
Outside the Meg Sword, yes.
Fox Rangers, I just want to wish you all a Merry Christmas. Happy Merry Christmas, bro.
Merry Christmas.
Bro.
Oh, and Fox before, yeah.
Yeah, I see that. Let me see that glory right there. Let me see that. This is a no clipper zone, big dog. This is a no clipper zone.
Anyway,
No.
Billy, hey, so Billy, I wish you would have been more blazing. Yes, I wish that too. Again, it's hard to do like duplicate because that's actually movie budget. But
Yeah.
Betty or Megan.
Megan.
I like
Okay.
Megan.
At the end of the day, Beast Wars was still a great season of Power. Yes, it was.
Anyway, like that's no doubt about it.
Robert Roxy Googie. Oh yeah, Lost Galaxy. I actually did remember that. Psycho Pink.
Except no one died.
Actually, what about a Turkina?
Yo.
She became that horrifying.
Oh yeah, in Lightspeed Rescue.
That crossover, yeah.
My bro Jester's breaking that. Oh yeah, it's not really like. Oh, it's about the the god shown in UK.
Well, the way they were released, it was kind of leaked.
Yeah, Edward Sanchez, Beast Morphers taught us it's great to be human. It's great to be human.
No, but real talk. You know how amazing it is.
Human.
Like you know how amazing it is to like legitimately be human because you have all this complex machinery in your body running 24/7, and it's made entirely out of sugar, fat, and protein.
Yes. Paratimus Mercicor says, "Hey guys, what's up?"
What's up, dude? Shots in.
Marrero says, "Love the 3 for now. Beast Morphers favorite Ninja Steel as a whole." Yeah, well, no.
Don't you disagree with that? Beast Morphers for now was way better than Ninja Steel. You were too nice to Ninja Steel.
Ninja Steel finale was just underwhelming to me.
Yeah,
You gave that damn thing a 7 out of 10, bro.
you said that's
More
a
rounded-
whole. That's a
More
whole.
rounded out than
As much crap I give to Victor and Monty, they were the best part of the finale. Real
Yes.
talk.
Paratimus Mercicor says, "Wishing you Merry Christmas in advance." Wishing
Thank you, man. Much appreciated. Johnny says
Wing.
All right, there you go. No.
3-part Beast Morphers finale was awesome.
Okay.
The Wing, everyone else got power up, but names. It's the Sentai. You have to blame Sentai. Sentai, you have to blame Sentai, bro.
And that budget,
It is based on a Sentai, and even other seasons, all the main characters get a power up form except for the Sixth Ranger. That's just always been a thing.
Yeah.
With some exceptions.
Since Devon's become commander, the commander shall becomes general. Retires. He retires.
Just like General Birdie.
Yeah, he retires. Like I'll give you an example. My grandpa, he was a general, but he retired. So after 30 years of service as a general.
Or maybe he was given an honorably discharge, because they found out, he was a slight unprofessional.
Yeah. He was like Captain Murta from Family Matters.
Oh my god. Anyway, his parents are the only ones that didn't know he's a ranger. Also, I wonder what that. Maybe they'll explain it. I don't know. I'll just say this: after Beast Morphers finale, don't expect this to the last time we see the Beast Morphers cast. I can bet you we'll see them more, especially Frazzle. Wink, wink.
You know what'd be funny if the first Christmas Steel has as a human, his dad gives him $20 for his birthday.
Oh my god!
I would buy that ice cream.
I would cry. And that would be great. That would be great writing too. I would cry when it's good. Okay.
Almost done, guys.
Should Betty have become Pink Buster? Yeah.
Or
Wait,
green.
I say she should. I say Ben should have been a Green Hippo Buster, and Betty should have been Black Puma Buster.
Yeah.
Oh wait, didn't the Black Buster look like Hitler?
No.
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 It was legit. Like what do you call that?
It was a white scarf.
It was white
I
scarf.
thought they were channeling him for some reason. Okay.
Anyway, dude,
You've been watching too much Kamen Rider X.
I know.
I never watched Kamen Rider.
Exactly.
I love seeing the weapon, at least the original legendary Power Rangers weapon in Austin. Yeah, Austin John. You actually watched an interview with Rory D. Jarvis like last week. He actually talked highly of Austin. Charles Scott, is there gonna be more episodes? No, it's done, bro. It's
done, bro. Come on, that's 20 episodes each season. Come on now.
Commander Shaw become Black Puma. Oh.
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
For
Yeah.
Actually, no. There's
Yeah.
already 6 Rangers. So it's gonna be the maybe kind of confirmed. Well, I don't know. Let's see. I don't know. Let's see what happens. All right, guys. This ends Beast Morphers. This ends it. 2 hours is our longest in history. My eyes hurt. It was working though. It was
I'm
an hour.
sorry, it's my fault.
Guys,
This is not the way.
So
thank
before
you.
we
Go ahead, Ryan. Go ahead. Sorry.
before we end, where can you find you, Fox?
So, guys, I don't know if we're gonna be back until January, but until then, guys, happy holidays, and you can find me on Twitter, Instagram, @Rex_Fox, YouTube @Fox, and find all the latest game content on twitch.tv/RecklessFox. And be on the lookout this week. Our final episode of Scroll Podcast of the year will be up later this week. And yes, we talk about Cyberpunk 2077 and the fiasco it's caused in the gaming industry. Mike, where can they find you?
Well, you can find me on Twitch at twitch.tv/BokenKabuto, where I will be playing Kamen Rider Memory of Heroes for the Switch. And you can find me on my Instagram at Chrono_just_cosplay. Kent, where can they find you?
Instagram Brown_K as well as QR Rangerbug. And where can we find you, Chin Chili?
What?
Ryan, where can they find you?
You can find me at Instagram DancerBoy247, and also please follow our sister. Yes, we are a partner now with the Luminarity. Now, you can read articles. So at Power Rangers stuff. Pretty much.
You're breaking up, Ryan.
E-Box got me again. Dang it!
Look,
Is
guys,
you know why? You know why?
Particularly fond of this
You know why?
article right here. from
It's
the
an article.
Illuminati.
That's why. It's the reason why.
Get the article. Read Ryan's new article on the Illuminati on how Power Rangers can be good for both younger and older audiences alike.
E-Box
There you
wants
go.
it.
Evox don't want you to read it, but we do. And with that being said, guys, happy holidays. We're out of here. We'll see you guys potentially next week. I'm not sure. Get that out of here. Stop it.
Bye,
We'll see
guys.
you
I'm
guys.
particularly fond of this section of the essay.
Oh boy.
We'll see you guys next week. Until then, happy New Year, guys. Bye-bye.
Bye, guys.